Welcome to another edition of Arizona Wildcats Insiders Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Hutchison, and we are officially at the end of Arizona's bye week. It is finally over, and game week is finally here. The Wildcats have started the season off with an impressive 3-0 start with a 34-point win over Hawaii, 40-6, a 45-point win over Weber State, 48-3, and a 6-point win, 23-17 over Kansas State in the Battle of the Wildcats out in the desert. Now, Arizona, they've been averaging 37 points per game so far this season. That's a huge improvement from last year where they averaged over 20. But realistically, if you take away that New Mexico game where Arizona dropped 61 points, Arizona's offense was vanilla. It was stuck in the past. It was a sloth out there on the football field. Delay handoffs, no pace, no rhythm, no rhyme or reason to play calling. It was hard to watch, and they averaged less than 18 points per game, less than 19 for sure. After that New Mexico game, they're one of the worst offenses in the Big 12. It showed out there on the football field with blowout losses to Kansas State, where they lost 31-7, blowout losses to BYU, Central Florida, where they got steamrolled in the first half in the rain out there in Orlando, and so on and so forth. There are other blowouts along the way as well. ASU was one of those too, and it just seemed to get worse week in and week out. And so what did Brent Brennan do? He hired Seth Diggy as offense coordinator. Right now they're averaging, like I said, 37 points a game. They're top 40 offensively in terms of points per game. That's going to change. If you average around 37 points per game in college football, you're going to be a top 25, top 20 offense. And I think Arizona can average around 38 per game. So I expect that to move up. Defensively, Danny Gonzalez took over as the defensive coordinator, being promoted from the linebacking coaching job. And Arizona's defense is, everything, not everything is advertised, but everything and then some. Because I don't think anybody thought this defense would be as good as it is right now. They've only allowed 2 touchdowns all year, and realistically, they've really only allowed 1. I don't count a block punt where the team gets set up inside the 5-yard line. I don't think that falls on the defense. But they're allowing opponents to score 8.7 points per game, which is 10th nationally. They're one of the top 10 defenses in terms of points per game. And you have 3 other Big 12 schools as well. So the defense has been highly aggressive. It's been very good underneath Coach Gonzalez, and the offense has been very complimentary. Now, the passing game isn't quite there. Not yet. Noah's still trying to figure some things out in this offense, but you're seeing him get better each week. I know he didn't have the gaudy numbers that he put up against Weber State, but Kansas State's a much better opponent than Weber State. So I think he's getting better each week. There's opportunities for him to finish around 230, 240 if some flags weren't thrown, if you don't have some holding calls and just stupid penalties out there on the field that really hurt and limited Noah in his passing attack, where he finished with 176 yards. But rushing-wise, he finished with 48, which was a career high against Kansas State, and got into the end zone twice. So far this season, I might be wrong, but if off the top of my head, Noah Fafita has 3 rushing touchdowns. That is absolutely insane. That's great. And then passing through the air, he has 6 touchdowns right there. So that's 9 total touchdowns, 0 turnovers. He's protecting the football, which is something he didn't do last year. And the offense is clicking at a pace and rhythm that Seth Diggy wants. I think they can increase the tempo, which you could see. But right now they're rolling. They're playing really high-level football, and you're seeing it pay off out there on the field. You're seeing the practices pay off, the guys that they brought in terms of the transfer portal, the recruits developing. You can see this program moving in the right direction for the first time in a long time. Well, not a long time. Jed Fish had it rolling. But you get what I'm saying. After a year of turmoil where you're projected to go make a bowl game, have 8, 9, 10 wins, maybe even make the college football playoffs, and you finish 4-8 and have a very underwhelming first season. I think Arizona's perfectly where they are in terms of getting back on track, and Brent Brennan and his staff have done a tremendous job. Now, with that, we have seen some shaking up in the AP poll. ASU is out of the AP poll as of right now. That could change come Monday. Come today, I guess, once we figure out up just a tad with, Illinois getting their butts blistered by Indiana. They lost 63-10. So I imagine the Illini are going to fall way, way, way down in the AP poll, and that gives an opportunity for a team like Iowa State to move up into the top 10. Arizona could be seeing a top 10 team here. We'll find out Sunday afternoon. But a lot of good things for Arizona, and with that comes recruiting. Right now, Arizona has the 42nd recruiting class in the country, headlined by Oscar Rios, who's one of the 4-star quarterbacks out there. Arizona won the recruiting battle over teams like Cal and UCLA. A little scrawny. I think that's the big concern with him. If he was a little bit more bulky, might be a 5-star recruit, has great legs, great pocket awareness, and a big-time arm. Just the frame is a little underwhelming, but man, what a talented player. And I think he's going to have a long and successful career here in Tucson. Now, as you look at the recruiting trail, since we were in this bye week, Arizona has decided to hit up Texas, obviously the state of Arizona with in-state recruiting, Hawaii, California. And Brent Brennan and Seth Daggy went out to LA. They were out in LA this past weekend. Danny Gonzalez was in Sacramento, Northern California. Maybe he jumps to Washington, Oregon as well while he's up there. That's something to keep track of. And then Joe Salavea, the Hawaii connections, the Polynesian connections, I assume is the coach that went out to Hawaii, maybe Josh Oglesby as well. They have a lot of members on the staff with island ties. So those were the four main areas Arizona was looking to hit. They were able to send out some offers. And in fact, Arizona's targeting guys that are committed right now. They've been very clear about that. Danny Gonzalez is going up to Sacramento to see a defensive lineman that's committed. He didn't say the team, he didn't say the high school, but they're turning over every rock and they're knocking on doors. He gets some of these guys to flip and get to their class and maybe make it a top 30, top 35 recruiting class this season for Brett Brennan and company. One name that Arizona fans need to keep in mind is the number 1 linebacker out in the state of Washington for high school football. Is a Polynesian kid, played in Hawaii before that previously, is Ramzak. Again, this name is very hard for me, so I do apologize. Furin, very good linebacker, good mobility, good size with a 6'4" frame. 210 pounds, I believe, was the body on that. So he could fill that up to 225, 230 with that frame. He's a lightning bolt, man. A UCLA decommitment. You're going to see a lot of those as we get closer to National Signing Day with the firing of Jashawn Foster. So Arizona's jumping on that one right now. Arizona has just offered him, and they're making him a priority for the 2026 class. Whew. Meanwhile, they've offered a tight end, his teammate, Elijah, and I'm going to butcher the last name, so I'm going to pass over the last name right now. They've offered him. He's a San Diego State commit, but again, with Josh Miller as the new tight ends coach, wants more physical play. He's a 6'6", 250-pound tight end. Probably more of the blocking variety. He has offers from Nevada, San Diego State, Arizona, obviously, and other teams as well, other mid-major teams. So very exciting time for Arizona. They're going out there on the recruiting trail and trying to turn this program around. And if they're able to build it to a top 35 recruiting class, have a 7-9 win season, we'll see how the year plays out. Arizona fans have to be excited. I know there's a lot of, not hatred, but underwhelmingness with Brent Brennan for Arizona fans. I don't think they fully believe in him yet, but there's a different vibe. There's a different aura. There's a different atmosphere around the football program right now, and it's feeding off of exciting games, exciting wins, hard-nosed, red line, spring practice and training camp, and getting the right coaches in place is a big thing. But we're seeing a new attitude from head coach Brent Brennan. It's not the, oh, shucks, be golly look that we saw the year before. No, there's a little bit of an edge to him. They want to get this thing right. Still an incredibly nice guy, but there's a little edge to him, and I think Arizona fans are going to love to see that throughout the season. So we'll have more on the recruiting trail. We'll have more on Arizona versus Iowa State. Rolls along. Check out Arizona Wildcats on SI. Follow our Twitter account at Arizona Wildcats on SI, or me, Troy Hutchison, at THutch1995, and we'll see you next time.